Very excited for today's session. It's going to be a great one. We have some really great experts from Password Reset on the call. So hopefully you have all your questions warmed up and ready for us. And I do want to know I don't have my camera on. I apologize. My internet is being a little funky today. And I wanted to make sure that my connection was stable. So that is why you do not see my face today. But I think the chimes are slowing down. So I think we will get started. So welcome to Discover the Latest in ServiceNow Password Reset. This is a live on ServiceNow webinar. And we are going to get started. First, our safe harbor notice. So this is just in case we have any forward-looking statements that are based on our beliefs and our assumptions on what we know as of today. But we want to make sure that you know things can change. So before you make any purchasing decisions, just know that our roadmap is constantly evolving. Next, we want to let you know that we have more webinars and meetups. So if you want to scan this QR code, or we'll drop the link in the chat today for you to sign up for more across the ServiceNow platform. They're really great chances for everyone to chat with experts and their peers to help you deploy products and achieve value faster. And then on to a couple housekeeping items. We save time at the end for a question and answer, and there is a Q&A button at the bottom of your screen that you're definitely welcome to drop in your questions, and we will answer them along the way. Some we can answer live if need be, but we'd rather do that at the end. So if you do have questions, please use that feature. This presentation will be recorded and shared on the ServiceNow community. And after the event, you will be prompted to fill out a short survey. And just in advance, we thank you for your feedback. With that being said, I'm going to jump into our introductions. For those that you'll be hearing from, I'll just quickly introduce myself. My name is Isabella Frigiani. I'm a senior product manager for ServiceNow, primarily focused on different products within our automation suite. So Password Reset, Virtual Agent, etc. You might have heard me before. I will hand it off to Harsh to introduce himself next.
Thanks, Isabella. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Harsh Mariwal, and I'm the inbound product manager for the employee experience products within ITSM. And one of the products that I actually handle is Password Reset. I also have with me Nakul, who's a staff software engineer on my engineering team, and he leads the engineering group for the product that we're going to be showing you today. We have an exciting session planned for all of you, and we hope to get some feedback around where you are with Password Reset.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we'll move on. To start off, we're going to do some polls just to level set where everyone is. So if you wouldn't mind answering for us, which of the below best describes your role at your organization? Are you a developer? Are you a help desk agent, service or process owner, product owner, or something else? And if that is something else, feel free to drop it in the chat. This is important for us so that we know exactly where to take our demo and our conversation today so that we are giving you the most value. So we'll just leave this open for about a minute or so to make sure everyone's able to answer. So far, it looks like we have mostly ServiceNow developers and product owners on the call. But again, I will keep this poll open for about 20 more seconds. I see in the chat we also have an IT service desk manager. Great to know. Thank you. And about 10 more seconds to make sure we've got everyone, which I think we do. Sys admin, business analyst. Alrighty, so we're going to end that poll. And yes, so we have about 30% of those on the call that are ServiceNow developers and about 34% as product owners. So that's great for us to, like I said, level set as we go through the demo and this conversation. And we have some others dropping in what they are in the chat, so thank you. And then on to the next question that we have to level set. Where are you on your password reset journey? Are you brand new to password reset? Are you currently implementing or adding it to your roadmap? Or are you already using Password Reset? So we'll leave this open for, we'll do about 45 seconds this time. Seems like everyone's pretty active, so that's great. A lot of participation for a Monday. We love it. So far, it's looking about 71% is brand new to Password Reset. 20% are already using it, and then 10% are currently implementing and or adding it to the roadmap. So that's where we're at for this conversation. So that'll really help us set up the demos nicely. So the next poll question we have is, what would you like to use Password Reset for at your organization? Is it MS Active Directory Password Reset, Azure AD Password Reset, ServiceNow Password Reset, more than one of the above, or something else? And if it is something else, feel free to drop that in the chat as well. I'll leave this one open for a minute or so. So a pretty mixed bag is what I'm seeing here. Everyone has different priorities, which is great. I see it in the chat. Somebody said Okta. That's good for us to know. Maybe about 10 more seconds. And then we will share the results. Alrighty, I think we can end the poll and share the results. It looks like, like I said, a pretty mixed bag. So MS Active Directory Password Reset, 27%, Azure AD Password Reset, 23%, ServiceNow, 18%, more than one, 27%, or we have things like Okta, for example, and chat. But this is great. This is really helping us, as we prioritize future features and functionalities as well as what we want to chat about today. So for those of you that are brand new, I kind of want to just dive in a little bit at a high level of what to expect with Password Reset. So we are going to move forward. So how many tickets are Password Reset tickets? The data shows that 20 to 30% of tickets are Password Reset tickets, and all IT service desk volume these are the most issues, and really these can be automated. So we have found that most of these issues can be resolved with our Password Reset tool. By automating this function, organizations will be seeing huge cost savings. So that's kind of just level setting, what to expect if you do implement our Password Reset tool. Going forward, the customer challenges that people are seeing, for 1,000 users, a customer will spend, anywhere between $20,000 a year for manually resetting passwords. This application enables a fully automated self-service experience that eliminates this cost. And for those that don't want the fully automated experience and are still looking for a little bit of that manual experience or need a transition point, we do offer the service desk assisted experience that will also help reduce those costs. So we'll run through that a little bit more as well. But going forward, how does this work for the self-service experience? For this full self-service experience, the user will start with this enrollment, which they will set up their verification questions or methods. We have different options, the QR code for authentication through Google or Microsoft, whatever it is that your organization is using. Then whenever the user fails to log in, they will be able to request a new password through the login screen. So here you'll see the process that we will go through for resetting the password. So first starting with identifying, and then lastly, they will have to provide the correct information to verify their identity and provide this new information. So this is from the Authenticator app verification. This is one of the ways you can set it up. And then lastly, the last screenshot you'll see here is the actual resetting of the password. And you can set up these complexity requirements for your organization or for your users' passwords so that they comply with your security requirements. So I'm going to stop here just to make sure we don't have any questions in the chat before we go over the service desk assisted experience. I think we're good on questions. Okay, so for the service desk assisted experience, the initial setup is the same. The user will provide security questions and register for other verification types. Here you'll see the first screenshot are questions. And then when they call the service desk, the agent will be able to ask them to verify the user, who they are, their identity, etc., through these verification types. And then lastly, after successfully verifying their identity, the service desk agent will get a new password to be able to provide to the user, providing this seamless experience for both the end user and the agent. So that's a little bit how the process works at a very high level. Going into best practices and guidance. Really, we suggest meeting users where they are. So integrating password reset, change, and account unlock with virtual agent, IVR, and Windows app. That way, it's a seamless experience for where the user is. To set up employees for success, you really want to encourage the end user to do this enrollment and this verification type to mitigate any future risks and issues with their password needing to be changed or unlocking their account. And then supporting the agent, we've really introduced the self-service to reduce the workload for the agents 20 to 30%, huge cost savings as well as efficiency improvements as well. The other thing I just wanted to note here is we do have ways for agents or for managers to see via the dashboard the improvements or what the how many people are successfully completing these unlocks or are unlocked, things like that. So there's a lot of visibility as well that helps support the agents. Alrighty, I think I'm going to hand it off to Harsh for the demo. I just wanted to level set there, and if anyone has any questions, we'll be answering in the Q&A feature.
Awesome. Thanks, Isabella. Hey, everyone. So now I'm actually going to be running you through some of the capabilities that Isabella has talked about. So we're going to start off with a simple base case kind of password reset use case. I'm an employee and I have forgotten my password within ServiceNow, and I need the ability to reset my password. So what I actually can do is I can come right over here to my instance URL and just click on forgot password. And that quickly takes me into the password reset flow. I'm just going to show you what that looks like. For those of you who are, let's say, in a pre-Tokyo environment, this interface might be a little bit new to you. This is actually our new Polaris themed interface. And we've actually made a lot of theming enhancements and functional usability enhancements in this. So if you have a chance to check out some of our latest releases in ServiceNow, please do so. Now, when we talk about a password reset, there are three core components that need to be encountered before the password reset can actually happen. So we need to identify who the user is who's attempting to reset their password. Second, we need to verify that it's actually them. We want to make sure that this isn't a case of a fraudulent password reset. So the verification component and the security associated with it becomes super important. And then the third stage is actually going to be the physical reset, where the user types in the new password that they want. So over here, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to request a reset password as Daniel Zill. So I'm going to put my information here. And now I can see for this particular process, my admin has also configured a CAPTCHA. This CAPTCHA configuration is completely optional. And later on in the demo, I'm actually going to show you the metadata layer from where all of these configurations are driven. So if I just go ahead and type the CAPTCHA, I hit next. Now, for Daniel, the configuration that's been done is he has to do a verification via Okta, which is a third-party authenticator app that most of you would probably be familiar with. In our latest release, we've actually shipped a capability that allows you to integrate with Okta, Google Auth, and MS Authenticator, along with any third-party authenticator app that you wish to use. These are the three that we've heard customers most commonly using, but we've built our system like an open framework, and you can link any third-party app that you desire. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put in the authenticator code that's on my phone, already linked with Okta for Daniel. I hit next. And now I'm on the core password reset screen. I just want to let this sit with you for a second, and then I'm going to go into some of the capabilities that you see here. Okay, so there are a couple of things. And for those of you who have done password resets, I'm sure all of you have reset a Gmail password or an Outlook password at some point of time. There's some pretty standard features here that you would expect to see. There's a field to ask you for your new password and a confirmation of the password that you've typed in. But we also have something that we call granular password policies. Now, what these are is individual line items that allow you to measure whether the password complies to your organizational standards. So we have a strength bar that's actually going to determine what's the strength of your password. We have different kinds of rules set up based around character length, around the nature of the characters that need to be present. And we also have some more detailed checks. So for example, we say that user-specific data should not be input over here. And while you're typing in the password over here, it's actually going to do a real-time check. And I'll give you an example of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit the I button and I type Daniel. So if you see, it's actually failing some of the characteristics that you see over here. And in real time, the user is able to see that. Plus the strength is pretty weak. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a series of characters. And you can see that this is updated accordingly. And supposing I decide to do something like this, you can see that this is an example of a great password. So the strength bar has automatically updated. This, in a nutshell, is the password reset. When you try and change your password, we show you a similar kind of experience on this screen. This component that you see will also be available to your users over there, which becomes a quick and easy way for them to identify whether their passwords are actually complying with organizational requirements or not. When we were doing our customer research, we were actually able to identify that a large reason why tickets were coming in is because employees didn't know why their password reset was failing. And we believe that having this kind of core capability is going to be super critical in reducing that inflow of tickets to your service desk. Now, with that in mind, I want to take you through a little bit more of the under the hood part of this demo. I've showed you how this flow works directly when you're an end user, when you're already enrolled for the password reset. But how did this happen? How did the system know that the authenticator needs to be set up this way? That comes to a core component of the flow that we call enrollment. So enrollment is where you actually go in with a password reset process and say, hey, sign me up for a password reset with this process. So a lot of you mentioned that you want to use password reset from Microsoft AD Reset or Azure AD Reset. What you would do in that case is you would actually define a process. And at the process level, your users would have to enroll themselves, saying that I would like to subscribe sort of for that password reset. Now, I'm going to jump into two different experiences that your end users can avail for the enrollment flow. So the first flow that I'm going to show you is the web flow. And let me just refresh my browser. Just let me give it a second for my instance to load. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and impersonate Abel. Now, Abel is a user who's looking to enroll for a password reset, and he's doing this for the first time. He's going to have two different experiences available to him to do this. The first is kind of our legacy solution where you have to go into platform and do it from there. The second is our newer virtual agent-based solution. So let's take a look at what option exists in platform today. So I'm just going to go ahead and type enroll. I see password reset, enroll. And I can see that there are a certain series of steps that I have to follow for enrollment. Now, there are different kinds of enrollment mechanisms that we have provided out of box for you to provide to your end users. We have authenticator app-based verifications for enrollment. We have SMS-based verifications. We have standard security questions where we offer over 20 different questions that your users can answer as a way of authenticating that, hey, it's really me, and I'm trying to do a password reset. You can also configure a mix. So you could require that for the verification step, your users have to actually go through multiple verification layers. So they may have to do an authentication along with security questions answering. And based on the kind of configurations you've done, they will get a different experience over here. For this process, the admin has configured only authenticator-based verification. So what I'm actually going to do is on my phone, I'm just going to go ahead and open Okta because I already have it downloaded. And I'm just going to scan this really quick. So if I go ahead and scan my QR code, I now get an authenticator code. I'm going to type that in over here. And the code has expired. So let me just type the fresh code. And again, as earlier, this will work with any third-party app. We use it with MS Authenticator, Cisco Duo, and Google Auth. It will also work with Okta. So let me just go ahead and hit pair device. And now I can see that my device has been paired successfully. Now, if I go over here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and do a new password reset process for Able. So I'm going to hit forgot password. I'm going to type the name, Able.tutor, and I'm going to type the captcha, MR45D. Now it's asking me to generate my authenticator code again, and it's just the same flow from here. So far what we've looked at is the authenticator flow where we're trying to verify a user from the classic platform experience. And once they've done that enrollment for that verification, they come here and they try to reset their password. But we believe that the experience should be better. And it should be easier for the end user to actually complete all of this. And in order to do that, what we've done is we've extended the same capability on virtual agent as well. So now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to switch back over to the employee side of the demo, and I'm going to impersonate another user. So let me just go ahead and impersonate another user. And I'm going to impersonate Bart. And what Bart is actually going to do is Bart is going to try and enroll for a password reset process from their service portal itself. Now, the reason we've done this via virtual agent in service portal is because we believe that's one of the easiest endpoints for the user to quickly get this enrollment underway. A lot of users don't actually have that access to the ServiceNow platform, or they don't have that knowledge of how to navigate in platform. So the portal experience really makes it quick and seamless for them to complete this enrollment process at the earliest. So I'm just going to go ahead and open portal. For those of you who've not had a chance to explore our virtual agent capabilities, especially those for password reset, I would request you to definitely do so after the session. Our password reset virtual agent topic supports end-to-end password reset as well as password changing use cases. For end users who are locked out of their AD accounts, they can also directly get the help they need from our virtual agent solution itself. So Bart is going to click on Show Me Everything. And he can see two options available. He has a change your password option as well as an enrollment option. Now, if he goes ahead and clicks on enroll, you can see that the system is telling him that he has to enroll for at least one verification because that's the mandatory configuration that his admin has enforced. So if he clicks on yes, he gets a similar kind of experience to what he'd seen earlier. Now, I'm not going to go into, again, pairing this with my Okta because I've already shown that part. But as you can see, for end users who are not well versed with platform, with how to navigate across the different menus available, the virtual agent is a really quick and easy way for them to quickly enroll into their ServiceNow password reset or their MS-AD password reset, whichever has been configured in your organization. Now, one more point I'd like to add here is that we have actually shipped an enhancement to our enrollment framework where we allow you to send nagging notifications to your end users. When speaking to our customers, what we discovered is that this notification is super important because a lot of users are not even aware that they need to enroll. So we actually give you an out-of-box notification that you can use to remind your users that, hey, you actually need to enroll for this password reset. Otherwise, you will be locked out of your account. I'm quickly going to pivot back to the platform view because I want to show you a high-level view of the password reset configurations and where all of this is configured from. There's a single pane of glass that the admin can look at that allows them to make all of these configurations just by selecting a bunch of checkboxes. And we're actually going to take a look at that really quickly. So if I go over here and I type on password reset processes, here I can see a list of all password reset processes that have been configured for my instance. So for example, over here, I actually have a Microsoft Azure AD password reset process also set up. But in this case, I'm going to look at the default self-service. Now, inside the default self-service, there are a bunch of different things that you can see. So you have right over here some record level information around what the name of this password reset process is, what's the credential store, can this be used for change or reset? But you also have slightly more advanced configurations. So you can code entry and success macros. These are custom macros that you can develop if you want to show your own screens for the password reset entry step, or if you want to show your own custom success or failure messages. Furthermore, right over here, we offer you the ability to send enrollment reminders, which, as I said, are notifications that your end users will get, reminding them to subscribe to that particular process, to enroll in that particular process before their account gets locked. We want to do as much as we can to prevent account locks and to prevent that incoming churn of tickets on your service desk. So we give you that tab right here. Furthermore, we actually allow you to choose from the different types of verifications. And you can even configure whether a specific verification is mandatory or not based on whatever your business requirements are. And these are all the verifications that will be used for validating your enrollment. So as I mentioned already, we have Authenticator app verification configured for this system, but some of the additional verification types that we support are personal data inputs of these three categories, a question answer based verification, SMS, and soft PIN. So that in a nutshell is the overall kind of admin experience for how password reset works. I'm going to pause for 5 seconds, and then I'm going to go into the next part of the demo. So the next part of the demo is actually going to look at an additional channel that we support for password resets. We got consistent feedback from our customers that our service desk has a very strong call-based automated process, and we use very strong IVR capabilities. And prior to a Tokyo release, we didn't actually have an offering. But I'm very happy to announce that since Tokyo, we've come up with a powerful IVR capability. And what this IVR actually allows your users to do is they can call in, and via that IVR, they can reset their password. So I'm going to go back to my deck and quickly play you a pre-recorded demo that I have of our IVR capability. Now, what you're going to hear this IVR do is it's going to engage with the user. It's going to ask them to navigate through a menu of options by speaking out whether they want to choose option number 1 or option number 2 or option number 3. And at the end of the kind of decision tree, what's actually going to happen is the IVR is going to recite the new password back to the user. So let's take a look at what the demo is.
Thank you for calling ServiceNow Help Desk. To better serve you, we can authenticate your identity if you have an existing account. Do you know your soft PIN?
Yes.
Enter the soft PIN.
764398.
And just want to call out here, what you just saw is the IVR actually authenticating the user to make sure that they're a bona fide user. And for this particular system, the authentication mechanism that we used was soft PIN, which is why the user had to actually input his soft PIN information. Continuing further.
Great. You've been verified. Hi, thank you for calling the help desk. Let me know how I can help you. You can describe your issue in a short sentence, or you can select from the following list. Say 1 to choose reset password. Say 2 to choose reset VPN token. Say 3 to choose unlock account. Say repeat to hear those options again.
1.
Okay, you're resetting the password for Microsoft Credential Store. Got it. Now let's quickly verify your identity to keep your account safe. Type in the authentication code that's showing on your app screen.
174231.
Your new password is small h as in hotel. Capital S is in Sierra. Capital D is in Delta.
As you can see, the IVR will actually read out that entire password so that you can then apply it directly. Once again, just want to emphasize for those of you who have automated service desks where you have a large number of users actually calling in, IVR could be a game-changing capability because it allows you now to deflect those incoming tickets, which would earlier require agent intervention, onto an automated system, thereby reducing your cost and increasing the agent efficiency of your service desk. Now, before I get into the next demo, I also want to showcase one more channel capability that we have. About that. And this is around our password reset application for Windows. We've actually shipped a client that you can get as a part of our ServiceNow Store app, which allows you on your Windows lock screen itself to carry out Microsoft AD password reset. We believe that this is a slightly better experience for Windows users, and we've actually spent a large amount of time in our current releases revamping the UI and adding additional capabilities here. So for those of you who do have dedicated Windows systems where you're trying to do Microsoft AD password resets, definitely check this out on our ServiceNow store. We have some screenshots over here that you can check that give you a kind of a glimpse into what the experience is going to be like for the end users while using our app. And as you can see, it's very similar to the web experience that we have. Furthermore, another channel that we offer is actually an integration with our RPA product capabilities. Our RPA integration offers an application to integrate password reset with those kind of systems that don't offer an API. For example, we have Oracle EBS or we have SAP HANA. These don't actually offer us a clean API with which we can do password resets or integrate via Integration Hub. So if you are in an organization where you have these kind of recurring tasks where you have to reset an Oracle EBS password or an SAP HANA password, you can go through this RPA demo once the slide deck is uploaded on the community, and you'll actually be able to see the kind of capabilities that we offer over here around automating that password reset process as well. I'd also like to call out that this is for mainly for non-credential store type applications. So far in the demo, what we've looked at is kind of the channels that are available to the end users for password reset. But a core component of password reset is actually also giving the agent an interface from which they can quickly reset password. There's never going to be a use case where you're 100% automated. There's always going to be some amount of tickets that do require an agent to interact with the end user to help them reset their password. And in order for them to do that, they need an interface. And that's what we call our service desk assisted password reset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly just flip back over here. I'm going to go into the admin interface here. And just give it a few seconds to load. And I'm just going to type service desk. And I go over here. Now, this is our service desk assisted password reset. This is when an incident ticket or some other kind of ticket has been opened by an end user saying that, hey, I'm not able to reset my password. I need some assistance from an agent. The agent would actually come on this experience and walk the user through a kind of guided password reset. So let's say I'm trying to reset the password for Beth Anglin. I'm going to just go ahead and type Beth. Select that. I can choose a process. And unfortunately, my process is not configured. So let me just go ahead and change the process configuration. So I'm going to go here, click on process. Go on default self-service.
So
okay. So it seems there was a little bit of a network lag. So service desk password reset is actually already enabled. So I'm just going to click that. Click on verify identity. It's giving me an invalid user. So let me just select table. Go ahead. Perfect. So now what you see over here is for this service desk assisted password reset, the admin has configured it in such a way that the user has to provide the personal data. And as a part of the personal data, what they have to do is provide their email address. Now, again, this step is completely configurable based on your business process. So if you require your user to give a soft PIN ID, they can give a soft PIN ID. If they need to provide security questions, they can provide security questions. All of this is, again, configurable at the process level. This is just an example of what you can do. You have the ability to configure custom verification types over here if you so desire. Finally, what you can do is based on the answer that you get, you can either click accept or reject, and you can click next. And now you can see that the account is not locked. So if you want to generate a password, you can just click reset password. In case the user was calling in because their account was locked, you had the ability to unlock the account from right here itself. So we're just going to hit reset password. And we'll give it a few seconds to load. All right, so it seems like there we go. So sometimes it takes a little bit of time based on the instance, and this instance is slightly slow. But as you can see, the new password has been generated over here. And what we've actually done is we've given a phonetic reading over here because the service desk agent who's walking the end user through this might actually be having to read this out over a call. They may not always have a chat option available to them. So we believe that having this phonetic reading available in front will just make it that much easier for them to communicate if they're talking over a spoken medium. Now, with that said, we kind of conclude the demo for this session, but I just want to talk to you about some additional capabilities that we offer. So out of box, we actually offer spokes to integrate with Microsoft Active Directory, Microsoft Azure AD, Google, Okta. These are all capabilities that are integrated with our integration hub, and you can read more about them in our documentation. But if these are some of the accounts that you're looking to reset, the ServiceNow Password Reset can actually be a single point solution that allows you to achieve all of these use cases. Like I mentioned earlier, you can also use the same product for unlocking users whose AD account is locked. You can use it for password change capabilities, and all of those also work off our virtual agent topic as well. So today, we took a look at the core password reset functionality over web. We spoke about the enrollment flows, where the user actually has to enroll for a password reset and configure some of their verification related information. We also took a look at IVR and Windows as potential channels that you can surface to your end users for password reset. We also got a little bit of an understanding around our virtual agent client and what that looks like. With that, I'll hand it back over to Isabella to bring us home for the rest of the session.
Awesome. Great demo, Harsh. That was a ton of great information. I think we'll just go to the next slide and really quickly talk about the benefits other than what you've already seen. But we really want to reduce IT service requests on average by about 20%, ensure a consistent user experience, and better govern password processes and policies. This is something that, Harsh went in detail on that we believe is a huge benefit for using ServiceNow's Password Reset application. Going to the next slide, talking a little bit about the desired business outcomes with, apologize, that should say Password Reset. But anyways, so what we're looking here is for reducing the number of incoming incidents at the org's service desk, quicker turnaround time in the resetting passwords, safer password reset experience, multi-channel exposure, so that makes the end user's password reset experience much easier. So what we're looking for is if you can share in the chat what speaks to you the most out of all of these outcomes or desired business outcomes. You could drop it in the chat if you are able to. So yeah, if Harsh, if you want to build the slides, there's a few questions. We could just go through all of them. So other questions are, what would you like to learn more about with Password Reset that can help you achieve these desired business outcomes? And then what are some of the challenges in achieving these outcomes that we could help with? So I'm seeing reducing incoming requests and safer password reset experience. That's definitely very important. Something top of mind for us. Reducing IT service requests. Yeah, getting that down 20-30% would be a huge cost savings and just efficiency savings as well. IVR and password reset would help reduce manned service desk. Yes, definitely being able to prioritize more high priority incidents or requests that are coming in rather than those, more low hanging fruit. Safer password reset, definitely really important to us as well. Maybe just hold some space for about 10 to 30 more seconds, see if anyone else has anything. One-stop shop to reset all passwords. Awesome. Okay, well, if you have anything else that comes to top of mind, even if it's outside of these four points that we added up here, we'd love to hear it. Moving forward, we do have some resources that we want to provide for you all. So we have our product docs page, community articles and posts where you can ask questions or search for more on Password Reset, and then more on our ITSM virtual agent conversations as it plays hand in hand with password reset. And then going forward, again, just a reminder that we do have live on now ServiceNow events and webinars, meetups for a whole slew of products. So if you're looking to join some more, get some more time to chat with experts and engage with your peers, this would be the best place to do that. And then lastly, we just want to open it up for questions. Are there any other questions that we can answer, that we can help enable you to be successful with password reset? We're here for you. I think somebody had their hand raised, maybe. Let's see. 2 people have their hand raised. Let's see. Lillian, I've allowed you to come off mute. Can you want to ask your question?
Yes, Isabella, thank you very much. So in the event, access to the instances through Okta, and, passwords are usually managed through Active Directory. If I'm resetting the password within the ServiceNow instance, does it sync through if the password, let's see if I'm asking this right. So their Active Directory password is to log into the network, but the Okta stores the password for the ServiceNow instance. So will it sync with the Okta and update it in that respect? Like, will there be a conflict if Okta is controlling access into the instance? Or is this not a feature to use if Okta is in the picture?
We have to customize it. It's already there out of the box. Samples are available.
So thanks for asking that. And I'll just again clarify. So you would have to write an LDAP sync, and that LDAP sync would actually allow you to integrate the Okta and the AD information. Out of box, this wouldn't work directly.
Okay, so if somebody calls the service desk and they want a password reset in ServiceNow, are you saying that if that person does the reset in ServiceNow, it will sync with the Okta, because that's the only way they get into the instance? They can't log in to the instance just by going to the URL. They have to use Okta.
So if they do the reset on the Okta side, then our system will actually take that information and reset it on the ServiceNow side.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Great question. And then Jose,
just additionally on that point, so they can also do it this way, that they can reset the Okta password from the ServiceNow instance if you so configure that.
So they sync, it's bilateral syncing.
It's not bilateral syncing, it's unilateral syncing. Like, it will not work in this way that you set up the password. Let me put it this way. Give me a second. So if you reset Okta, then the ServiceNow password will get synced.
Okay, but if I reset it in ServiceNow, will Okta be updated?
No. So if you reset
Okay.
it in ServiceNow, Okta will not be updated. The LDAP sync will only be if you reset it in Okta.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
It sure would be nice if it's bilateral.
Gotcha. And that's something we'll make a note of.
Thank you.
great question. Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions at this time that we can answer live for you? Alrighty, well, if that's all, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to the ServiceNow team as well for being on this call. And I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their week.